Welcome to Advice in Southern Tales. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is our opinion only. We are so excited tonight because we have our first official guest. And Justin, we go way back.
Oh, you used to do your mother's hair.
That is a true statement. Absolutely. You did
Yes.
my hair there and you cut my hair. But Leah and I, what's incredible to me is how far back us three go. And we go back so far.
Exactly.
35 years. This is.
Yeah, time flies when you're
No.
Is it that long?
Absolutely.
Justin, of course, when he married, I was not going to miss it.
She might love me just a little bit. Just saying, okay?
Leah has always been mother figure to you. Even through me growing up with her growing up with you, it's been like entangled.
His mother had so much respect.
Oh, I loved her. She was the best person ever. The most non-complaining, happy customer when they left of anybody I did. She was wonderful. I am so happy on his wife, B, because we just love
Hey,
her.
man, I'm going to interrupt you. I am too, okay?
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad.
Look, and here's the thing. We make pretty babies too, don't we? You know? So.
Beautiful babies. Yeah.
Remember when I called you? I said, hey, Will's not going to be able to make it because he had to work or something. I said, is it okay if I bring Amanda? And what'd you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. He said absolutely.
Well,
And
we
when
have a great time together. I knew you,
Look,
you know.
when
So,
Leah called me and asked me after that, and she said, Will's not going to be able to go to this wedding. Do you think that you can go with me to San Juan to Justin and B's wedding? And I was like, I don't know, Leah. I said, I'll see about it. And guess what? I talked to Ed, and he said, okay, because he knew how I loved you, and he knew how I had talked about them when you used to keep them. He said, absolutely. The only thing is, when we usually fly, he flies us first class. But when I went by myself, I didn't get to go first class, and I was stuck back between two men that took both armrests, and I had to sit like a statue in my chair like this and sleep the whole time. And Leah was sitting in first class in the other airline. She is clever.
That's all I'm saying. So back to the trip. After we got all the details worked out, I was so thankful that you could go. But that was the first time you had flown alone, remember? So
I remember you calling me asking and just saying how nervous you were.
I was scared to death.
do you have customers on your airline that you ever have to calm down?
Well, from time to time, yes, absolutely.
How do you do that as a captain?
Well, for me,
You ever have anybody like us?
I grew up with both of y'all. So the way I look at it is this: being a captain and so forth, I do try to calm people down that are nervous flyers, but also express that if my family right now is on this airplane, I promise it's going to be safe and we're going to take off. And that's true.
That's what I'm talking about. I always say that. I would want a doctor to say, if it was my daughter or my sister, I would do this. Same way with a pilot. Exactly.
Yeah, I would say also captain, first officer, anything as a pilot in general, that if we're taking an aircraft in the air, it has to be airworthy and ready to take passengers and safely. That's what I would say. For sure.
I'd love to be on your flight.
Guess what? I did
What?
get on his flight.
That's true. Listen, Amanda, know this. Seriously, it was completely fortuitous. She was trying to get on a flight from New York to Seattle. And literally, it just so happened that I was operating that flight that she wanted to get on from JFK to Seattle. It's incredible. This is 10 years ago. Maybe.
Yeah, so let me tell you, when the flight took off, I wanted to stand up and say, no,
I ain't your baby. Come on now. I've only got both of you ladies act like I'm so young, and both of you are so old. You only got a couple of years. Well, it's relative. It's relative. So
How old are you, Justin?
I'm 43 years old.
I wanted to stand up and just say, y'all don't worry, we're going to be safe. But I knew if he was flying the plane, I was in good hands.
Well,
I'm going to say about that,
What?
one over here that's a Delta pilot, and he was teaching in the thing,
Simulator?
learn how to fly a different. Yeah, he was teaching in the simulator. And I said, like on those movies, I feel like I'd be the one that if something happened to the pilot, I would come up there and help land that plane. And I think I could do it. And he said, well, just come on down here to the simulator and let's just see if you can do it. But I never did do it because I really think I could.
When I was Justin's nanny, his father was
All
a
right.
pilot.
Look, if we're going to do this, I mean, yes, it is true that she was like 23 and I was like 8 at the time. Okay, I'm 43 and you guys are like
57.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
That don't even seem real.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. But regardless, you ladies, you're 57 years young. Both of you beautiful ladies.
Exactly.
It is true that Leah was my nanny at one time. I was 8 and you were in your 20s, and we've
Yep.
been through a lot of life together, hadn't we?
We
All these
have.
years. That's truth.
I
And
remember flying with his dad. We went out to Aspen to go on a ski trip. I liked his daddy because he's like, I'm just taking him out of school. I'm like, yeah, let's go. I remember him saying, what if something happened and he had a heart attack or something? Because my dad had passed away from a heart attack.
And you just take over the controls at that time. On the movies, it says pull back or push down. You could do it. Land out in the field.
there are certain situations that I have heard about where people have landed airplanes that have no flight experience, meaning flying the aircraft before.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it can't be done. I do feel like you needed training.
But I think that in our situation, me and Leah are like heavyweight. I feel like with both of us, we could land that plane. My hands would be sweating like I could put a bucket of water with these hands. My anxiety would come out, but I could do it. I know I could.
So back, Leah was saying, though, 100 years ago, it's kind of where I learned how to fly airplanes. We flew across to, where was it, Colorado?
Yep.
Did you feel pretty safe?
With you or your dad?
Well, my dad back then. Where do you think I learned it from? How to be safe?
I felt 100%.
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
That's what I told Mom.
So back to Puerto Rico, though, I'm curious to your thoughts on that.
Leah, she went in there and changed our room in San Juan 3 times to get us in the right room. And by the second time she went somewhere, I was like, I'm going to go over here and stand in the corner because I don't want to get embarrassed.
Why was you embarrassed?
So-
I got to talk about this now. Come on.
Because Leah was changing our rooms 3 times before we got settled.
That's Leah right there.
The third time was great.
We had an awesome balcony, though, didn't we? Because we were like, when B and I got married and everything.
We had a suite
Oh, I know.
at the end.
Absolutely. So next time you're on vacation with all of us, just take a deep breath, right?
Right.
Let Leah take it.
We had such a good time.
So what do you remember most? I remember the zip line, the wedding, the hotel, my birthday dinner. I mean, there's so many great memories.
Well, I remember like when the kids came to our room and
That was the night of the wedding.
I was fixing his hair.
You did an incredible job.
I mean,
compliment,
we
please.
wasn't even planning to do that.
I'm going to give you a compliment, please. You did such an incredible job. We were all just blown away. It was incredible. It really
Well,
was.
we
And you
had
didn't
fun.
come as a guest.
You
Thank
know,
you. Oh, we had a great time.
that's
I mean-
what we do. Me and Leah, all we want people to do is just have fun and laugh. And
That's right. I remember after the wedding, and by the way, it was a gorgeous wedding, and his wife,
yes, it was.
stunning. Oh my gosh,
Thank you.
her everything.
She was
And my
amazing.
dress kept trying to fly up over my head. Yeah, that thing was too short. I needed some weights up under my hemline.
It was all good. But the
Yeah.
fun part was, I'm sure Justin and B were out on the dance floor, but we had the kids, and we looked up, and there was this guy in the store, and his window wasn't shut, and he
It was clear glass.
Okay. All right, ladies, y'all proceed, please. I have not heard this story at all.
he was up there just showering, and
No blind, no nothing. We was like, well, they showering, like, just look over there at the sunrise.
no,
Wow.
Yeah, the sunset. Look over there at the sunset. Justin,
Pardon?
have you seen that video that we put up about us doing the zip lining?
Don't know that I have.
Yeah, we can
Might be a good
react
point.
it.
Go ahead. Are you going to react it? Should I move back here?
Well, no. Okay. So when we got out there going to the zip line, y'all was all over there looking at which one you was gonna go on, and I was over there in the background thinking, I'm not going on that because I could see it went way over the trees. So I was like scared. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And then y'all all get your ticket. In the meantime, I'm sitting there thinking, I don't hear nobody around me speaking English, and I may get sex trafficked. So I might ought to go with them on that zip line. And I was like, well, I'm more scared of getting sex trafficked than I am risking my life. So I
Well-
just went along with y'all. I got peer pressure.
you weren't, because you had the choice to stay in the gift shop.
Yep. I remember
No.
that. Yeah, you had the choice to stay behind, but hey, let's be honest.
Y'all were leaving me.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I did love it, but I would never do that again.
Well, the scariest part was after the zip line and on that truck going back up the mountain.
I thought if we dropped, they'd have to pick up us in body bags, splattered.
Anyway,
You could at least say you did at least once, though. Be honest.
Yeah,
At
that's
least
true. And it was fun. I admit it. It was fun, but it went against my judgment. And the older you get, the more you think like that.
I can't imagine being a pilot.
I enjoy what I do. I've enjoyed what I've been doing. Took my first flight lesson at 15. Here it is. I'm 43, so that's almost 27 and a half years. It's a lot of fun. If you think about it, and I'm saying this, we're talking about advice here. And this is where I'm going. We talk about a lot of fun we've had, Puerto Rico and so forth, and B and I getting married. It's been a lot of fun. But, I've heard, Amanda, you talk about certain things over the years. And Leah and I have been going through this life together for a long, long time. Very, very close. And I've seen how she's and Eddie have raised their children and the advice that they have given their children, how successful they are and things they're doing. It's a lot to be said for figuring out who you are. Because I heard you say this on a podcast a few days ago that you want to go to beauty school.
Okay.
Went to beauty school. And just trying to figure out who you are, what you want to do with your life and so forth. For some reason, for me, this is what I wanted to do. And it's worked out really, really well. And I've been completely blessed. That's absolutely true.
Do you think you wanted to do that because your daddy flew when he was like, when you were younger?
Well, what I would say is, again, talking about advice and so forth, I think as a parent, what we do is we guide our children and we help our children figure out what they want to do. We give ideas, and then sometimes they figure out what they want to do.
But did your daddy fly when you were little?
Well, of course, I grew up flying airplanes with my father.
You think that triggered you?
Well, it was something I was exposed to. I would say that.
Yeah. And see, not everybody's exposed to that.
Well,
So,
I fly, doing this a long time, I fly with a lot of people
Mhm.
that have never been exposed to aviation. They just look up like I do still as a grown man. I look up at airplanes, I go, gee, that's lovely. I love it. I love
I
looking at it.
know, I do.
Well, some people have never been exposed to it. So, yeah, yes. The answer is yes. There is probably some part of me that, because I was exposed to it, it was an avenue I had considered. Taking my first flight lesson at 15, it was
Yeah,
one of those,
that's something.
well, you don't know if you're going to like it or not. I just give it a shot. Why not, right? And it was, again, 40, here we are,
I always tell everybody that growing up in Mississippi, all I wanted to do was do hair. But if I had grown up in a city like over here, it could have been crossed up. If I'd grown up around the airport like we have here, Atlanta, I may have been like pulled to being a flight attendant, but I never would have had what I call a job that you go and work behind the desk. That's not me. But I would have been either an air flight attendant or a pilot. I really think I could have been a pilot if I had put my mind to it. I don't think I had the math part because I always heard you had to have math, and I don't have math.
I think you have to make more than an 8 on the ACT to be a pilot.
Yeah,
don't
but I didn't read a question, so I'm surprised I even made an 8 without reading anything.
But I've heard you make a 13 if you don't read the question.
Well, I didn't read nothing. I just had me a pattern when I went in the door, and that's what I did, and I stuck to it.
What, are you saying that possibly if you went back and tried it again, don't answer any questions, you still make a 13, maybe?
Not a 13. I made an 8. I didn't make no 13 now. Don't be raising the standards.
Oh, I've just heard that.
Honestly, as an adult, as a mother, as a parent, I do think that, and I'm never going to do this because I don't want to do it because you know why? I don't have to. But if I did go back and take it again, I think I could do better because I would give it more of a chance. And you don't think that way sometimes when you're geared up, like artistic.
I've always thought the world of you, man, just so you know. You're always beautiful. Hey, I thought that Ed Geyer was the luckiest man alive besides Eddie Thacker.
Yeah. You could tell he's a horn. He knows how to give compliments. I remember it was my birthday and we went to the restaurant. It was wonderful.
What did my father do?
He was in the middle of me and Leah riding back to the hotel.
Yeah, we said, Dr. Horn's got some eye candy on both sides. Justin's dad had never been in an Uber. And so
he had never been in an Uber before, ever.
He was riding in the middle of us.
He was from Houston. They don't have Uber. I remember the first time I told my mother about Uber, she's like, who's Uber? I'm like, never mind.
It was so pretty.
Yeah, it's
I'd
beautiful.
never been there.
We were married in 2019, so since then, we've had a lot of fun. That's what I would say.
If any hotels want to sponsor us, we will go.
Absolutely.
Oh, I would love to do that. I loved it.
He told me, he said, there's really no need to go to Mexico or places like that. American is safe. It's a great experience.
Still have time on the island, so that's a good thing.
I was telling him I hope he buys a place down there one day and we all come hang out again.
I know, you should because B's from down there, so I'm going to put some peer pressure on you.
Hang on. Okay? Because you need to put this in the podcast. I'll tell you. I heard her make multiple comments that sounded very southern. Just so you know. So you say she's Mississippian now.
I think northern can't rub off on southern, and southern can't rub off on northern, but from somewhere else it can rub off because guess what, Justin? We took in 2 Vietnamese girls, Nhop and Nhai. Okay, they speak Southern Vietnamese, and B speaks Southern San Juan. And I'm putting her in a category with us because we love her, and she is a Southern girl.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
She's more Southern than we are because Puerto Rico
is more Southern. That is true. I never thought about that.
She is more she is us.
Yeah.
She's more Southern than we are.
Fits right in.
She does. She fits right in. I don't want to bust your bubble, but when I told Amanda, I'm like, oh, Justin's coming. I thought you would all be coming, and we're like, we can get B on our podcast.
I call her Miss B, my wife, Miss B. She has much more of a personality than I do and a lot more fun than I am.
She's funny.
She is so funny.
She is amazing.
Well, she's my person. I'll just say that.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just like us. What can I say?
I want to be everything. Like, I want to be B.
We're going to close with that.
Yeah, I got to go to sleep at some point. So
we love y'all.
Well, yeah, I love you girls so much.
We love you.
Y'all are all family to me. I've known you a long time.
And you fly that big old jet from here on out.
trying to pay a few bills. You know, what can I say?
I think the advice we could take tonight is family is not necessarily blood, because I feel like we're family. We are family.
Okay.
I do agree, though, with Leah. I do think there are a lot of people out there that really truly feel that way.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank
A lot of fun.
ladies.